You don't hate discipline. Your brain does. And if you keep trying to win with willpower alone, you will lose every time. Most people believe that a lack of discipline is a personal failure. You've been told that if you can't get out of bed at 7 a.m. or stay focused on your work, you're simply weak. You lack grit. You lack willpower. But here is a cold neurobiological fact. Discipline, as you've been taught it, is a lie. You aren't lazy. You aren't broken. Your brain is simply doing exactly what it was designed to do for the last 6 million years. Think of your brain as Stone Age hardware. It's a biological machine built for a world of scarcity, where every calorie was a treasure and every unnecessary movement was a risk. In that world, discipline, like running for no reason or skipping a meal, wasn't a virtue, it was a death sentence. The problem? Modern society is trying to run high-performance, 21st century software on that ancient hardware. As James Clear, the author of Atomic Habits, famously pointed out, you do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. Most of us are trying to run a marathon on a machine that is hardwired to act like a lazy hunter-gatherer. Your brain doesn't want you to go to the gym, it wants you to stay on the couch to save energy for a hunt that will never happen. It doesn't want you to study, it wants you to scroll TikTok, because your biology is programmed to hijack the fastest dopamine source available. This isn't a character flaw, it's a biological survival mechanism. And here is the irony. When you try to force yourself to be disciplined using hustle and a handful of motivational quotes, you are essentially trying to win a war against millions of years of evolution. You are bringing a toothpick to a nuclear fight. And let's be honest, your prehistoric brain wins that fight every single day. We need to stop fighting our biology and start hacking it. Following the principles of James Clear and the latest findings in neuroscience, we've realized that the most successful people on this planet aren't stronger than you. They just stopped using willpower and started using structure. Today we're going to show you how to trick your ancient hardware into actually liking discipline. No more no pain, no gain nonsense. By the end of this video, you will understand why winning isn't about force, it's about the architecture of your life. It's time to stop punishing yourself for being human and start designing a path where success is the path of least resistance. Now that you understand that your brain is ancient hardware, you have to realize something critical. This hardware is incredibly sensitive to its surroundings. Most of us think we make choices freely, but in reality, your environment is constantly making choices for you. Think of it as the supermarket effect. Have you ever noticed why you walk in for milk and walk out with a cart full of snacks you never planned to buy? It's not because you're weak-willed. It's because the store was designed to lead you there. The high-margin sugar is at eye level. The essentials are hidden in the back. Your brain simply followed the path of least resistance. Your life is exactly the same. You probably think you're scrolling through your phone because you lack self-control. But the truth is, you're scrolling because your phone is the most visible thing in your environment. You're eating the cookies because they're on the counter. Your psyche demands the easiest path, and right now, your environment is a supermarket designed to sell you procrastination. James Clear calls this environment design. The secret of the most disciplined people isn't that they have heroic willpower, it's that they have better store layouts. They understand that willpower is a battery that drains every time you have to make a choice. If you have to decide to go to the gym, you've already lost. To trick your brain, you need to stop being the consumer and start being the architect. You need to use the 2-minute rule. If a habit is too hard to start, it's because there is too much friction. If you want to work out in the morning, don't just try to wake up. Put your gym shoes right next to your bed so you literally trip over them when you stand up. You want to stop eating junk. Don't rely on grit to resist it. Hide it in the highest, most inconvenient cabinet in your house. Your goal is to make the good choices inevitable and the bad choices impossible. Imagine your room is designed like a casino, but instead of gambling, every light, every chair, and every object is pulling you toward your goals. You don't need more strength. You need to stop leaving your success to chance. When you design the space, you control the outcome. You aren't forcing the Stone Age brain to work. You're just making sure the only path it can see is the one that leads to the person you want to become. If the environment is the store layout, then dopamine is the currency your brain uses to decide what's worth buying. Most people think dopamine is about pleasure, but it's actually about anticipation. It's the itch that makes you reach for your phone before you even know why. To trick your brain into liking discipline, you have to stop trying to install new software and start hacking the access code. Following James Clear's framework, we do this by manipulating the 4 stages of the habit loop: the cue, the craving, the response, and the reward. 1. Make it obvious. It's the cue. Your brain is a prediction machine. It's constantly scanning for cues to trigger a routine. If you want to study, don't hide your books. If you want to take vitamins, put them right next to your coffee mug. You are creating a visual breadcrumb trail that your ancient hardware can't help but follow. 2. Make it attractive. It's the craving. This is where we hijack the dopamine. We use temptation bundling. You only allow yourself to listen to your favorite addictive podcast while you're cleaning the house. You only get that specific high-end coffee while you're doing your deep work. You are linking the dopamine hit of the thing you love to the task your brain currently resists. 3. Make it easy. It's the response. This is the most critical hack. Your brain's operating system hates friction. If a task feels like a mountain, your brain will shut down to save energy. You have to lower the barrier until it's invisible. Don't write a book, just write 1 sentence. Don't work out for an hour, just put on your gym shoes. When the entry price is 0, the brain doesn't bother to resist. 4. Make it satisfying. It's the reward. Your prehistoric brain lives in an immediate return environment. It doesn't care about a promotion in 6 months. It wants a win now. To close the loop, you need a micro reward. Use a habit tracker and cross that box. That tiny hit of completion dopamine tells your brain, "This felt good. Let's do it again tomorrow." You see, discipline isn't about miserable endurance. It's about neurological accounting. You are essentially bribing your Stone Age brain to perform 21st century tasks. When you align these 4 laws, you aren't fighting your nature, you're re-writing the script. To see how this works in the real world, let's apply these 4 laws to a task almost everyone struggles with: exercise. Most people fail here because they treat fitness like a punishment. Here is how you hack your brain to make it a reflex. First, the cue. Make it obvious. Your brain won't work out if it has to hunt for your gear. You've probably felt that decision fatigue before you even started, searching for a clean t-shirt or your water bottle. To hack this, use the visual trap. Put your workout clothes and shoes right in the middle of your floor the night before. You want to make it so that you literally have to step over your sneakers to get to the bathroom. The cue is now unavoidable. Second, the craving. Make it attractive. Stop trying to love the burn immediately. Instead, use temptation bundling. You are only allowed to watch your favorite Netflix show or listen to that one specific guilty pleasure audiobook while you are on the treadmill or at the gym. You are essentially bribing your Stone Age brain. If you give me 20 minutes of movement, I'll give you the dopamine hit of your favorite show. You'll start to crave the workout because you crave the entertainment linked to it. Third, the response. Make it easy. The biggest mistake is trying to run 5 miles on day 1. Your operating system will see that energy cost and shut you down. Use the 2-minute rule. Your goal isn't to work out for an hour, it's just to put on your gym shoes and step outside. That's it. Once you are outside with your shoes on, the friction of starting is gone. It is much easier to keep moving than it is to start from 0. Fourth, the reward. Make it satisfying. The dream body is a reward that's months away, and your brain hates waiting. You need a win now. Use a habit tracker. There is a profound neurological satisfaction in physically crossing off a day on a calendar. That red X provides an immediate hit of completion dopamine. You aren't just working out, you're building a chain, and your psyche will fight to keep that chain from breaking. This is the transition from forcing yourself to move to becoming an athlete. You stop being someone who's trying to get fit and start being someone who never misses a session. You've hacked the dopamine loop so effectively that the act of ticking that box becomes more addictive than the act of staying on the couch. You've probably felt that flow state once or twice in your life. That wasn't an accident. That was a moment where your cues, cravings, and rewards were perfectly aligned. Your psyche doesn't actually hate work. It just hates work that doesn't offer a return on investment. Stop trying to be a martyr. Start being a programmer. Once you crack the dopamine code, the things that used to require willpower start to happen on autopilot. So far, you've learned how to fix your environment and hack your dopamine. But there's a third brutal truth you need to accept. Starting is the most expensive part of any task. In physics, there's a concept called inertia. An object at rest stays at rest. Your brain works the same way. The hardest part of a workout isn't the 50th push-up. It's the 5 seconds it takes to get off the sofa. To bypass this, we use a strategy James Clear calls habit stacking. Think of your current daily routine as a moving train. You already have locomotives that are moving at full speed. You brush your teeth, you make coffee, you check your email. These are deep neural pathways, superhighways in your brain that require zero willpower. Most people try to start a new habit by building a whole new train from scratch. That's exhausting. Instead, you should just hitch a new car to a train that's already moving. The formula is simple. After some current habit, I will do new habit. You don't just plan to meditate. You say, after I pour my first cup of coffee, I will meditate for 60 seconds. You don't just plan to do push-ups. You say, after I take off my work shoes, I will do 10 push-ups. Your psyche loves this because it removes the decision phase. You aren't asking your brain to find the energy to start. You're just riding the momentum of the previous action. You're using the inertia of your morning coffee to carry you into your new life. But here is the secret to making the hitch hold: 2-minute rule. Every habit stacking sequence must begin with an action that takes less than 2 minutes. Why? Because your Stone Age brain is a master at detecting energy traps. If the new habit feels like a massive commitment, your internal alarm will go off. But if the task is just putting on running shoes, the brain stays quiet. You aren't exercising, you're just following the train. Once the train is moving, the physics of inertia work for you. It is 10 times harder to stop a person who has already started than it is to convince a person to begin. Stop trying to ignite a new fire every single morning. Hitch your goals to your existing life. Once you master habit stacking, discipline stops being an act of will and starts being an inevitable chain reaction. There is a very popular and very dangerous idea in productivity culture: the belief that you need to be motivated to get things done. We wait for that spark, that surge of energy, that perfect Monday morning when everything feels right. But here's the cold truth. Motivation is a feeling, and feelings are unreliable. Your psyche is a volatile weather system. It changes based on how much you slept, what you ate, or a single snarky comment from a stranger. If your discipline is tied to your mood, you are building your future on shifting sand. You are essentially letting a moody teenager, your emotional brain, run your life. Think of your life like a long-haul flight. A pilot doesn't sit there for 10 hours white-knuckling the controls, trying to stay motivated to fly. They don't wait for the inspiration to stay on course. They engage the autopilot. The autopilot is a system. It doesn't care about the weather. It doesn't get tired, and it doesn't need a motivational quote to do its job. It simply follows the coordinates. As James Clear famously said, you do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. A system is a repeatable process that produces a consistent result regardless of how you feel. It is the standard operating procedure for your life. When you rely on a system instead of a mood, you stop asking the most dangerous question in the world: do I feel like doing this today? The moment you ask that, you've given your ancient energy-conserving brain a chance to say no. Instead, you start saying, this is just what I do at 10 a.m. To trick your brain into liking discipline, you have to accept a radical idea. You don't have to love the process to get the result. Successful people have bad days too. They feel lazy, they feel tired, and they definitely don't always love the grind. The difference? They have a structure that catches them when they fall. This is what we call system recovery. Most people fail because they have an all-or-nothing mentality. If they can't do a perfect 60-minute workout, they do nothing. But a system-oriented person knows that 5 minutes of bad exercise is infinitely better than 0. The system says the goal is to show up, not to be perfect. They don't have willpower to eat healthy. They have a system of meal prepping on Sundays, so the choice is already made when they are tired on Tuesday night. They don't hope to find time to read. They have a system where the book is already on their pillow. Stop being a victim of your emotions. Stop being a slave to your inspiration. Start being the engineer of your routines. When the system is in place, discipline isn't something you do. It's something that happens to you because you've made it the only logical path forward. After everything we've discussed, the environment, the dopamine hacks, the systems, we arrive at the deepest level of change. This is where tricking your brain ends and becoming someone new begins. Most people approach discipline from the outside in. They say, I want to lose 20 pounds, or I want to be a millionaire. They focus on the outcome, but James Clear teaches us that the most effective way to change your life is to focus on the identity. Think of yourself as both the sculptor and the clay. Every single action you take is not just a task on a to-do list, it is a vote for the person you believe you are. When you sit down to write one sentence, you aren't just writing, you are casting a vote for the identity of I am a writer. When you put on your gym shoes, even if you only walk for 5 minutes, you are casting a vote for I am an athlete. You've probably felt the pain of trying to do something that isn't you. That's because your psyche will do anything to stay consistent with your internal story. The reason you don't need to trick yourself anymore is that once your identity shifts, the behavior follows automatically. An athlete doesn't discipline themselves to exercise. They exercise because that's what an athlete does. A healthy person doesn't resist junk food through sheer pain. They ignore it because they aren't the kind of person who fuels their body with poison. Your brain's ancient hardware is no longer your enemy once the goal is no longer effort but expression. You aren't fighting your biology, you are simply being who you are. Every time you choose the system over the mood, you are striking the chisel against the clay. You are refining the shape of your soul. You aren't just becoming disciplined, you are becoming unstoppable. Because while willpower can fail and motivation will fade, an identity is permanent. It's time to stop asking, what do I want to achieve, and start asking, who do I want to become? When you answer that, the how becomes the path of least resistance. If you've made it this far, you now have a choice that most people will never realize they have. You can continue the cycle of starting on Monday, failing by Wednesday, and drowning in guilt by Friday. Or you can stop waiting for the perfect surge of motivation. Stop punishing your Stone Age hardware for not being a machine. You don't need to be perfect, you just need to be consistent enough to let the system take over. Remember what James Clear taught us. Every action is a vote. Today is your first election, so we want to know what is the one small habit you are going to redesign right now. Maybe it's placing your book on your pillow so you read 1 page before bed. Maybe it's putting your phone in another room so you can focus for just 10 minutes. Whatever it is, share it in the comments below. The simple act of typing it out is your very first vote for the new identity you're building today. If this video made you rethink how you view your own mind, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Here we don't do hustle culture, we do neurobiology, systems, and real transformation. Every video we create is a concentrated blend of systemic and practical recommendations for self-discovery, growth, and building the best version of yourself. Our goal isn't to force change through violence or self-suppression. We focus on authenticity and unlocking your true self through the path of least resistance. Stop fighting your brain. Start designing your life. We'll see you in the next one. Drop one habit below that you're going to redesign today. Not next Monday. Today.